federal government of Nigeria has announced a series of initiatives to support persons with disabilities. Hi, welcome to What's Happening. These are the top 10 stories. At number 1, the federal government of Nigeria has announced a series of initiatives to support persons with disabilities, PWDs. The senior special assistant to the president on disability matters, Mohammed Isa, revealed plans to establish disability desks and offices in ministries, departments, and agencies to address the needs of PWDs. Additionally, the government aims to formulate inclusive policies, creating an enabling environment for PWDs and engage stakeholders in amending the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018. At number 2, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, along with other top military and police officials, failed to honor an invitation to appear before the House of Representatives during a sectoral debate. The Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Air Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, and the Inspector General of Police were invited to discuss their constitutional responsibilities in ensuring the security of lives, property, and the nation's territorial integrity. The officials sent representatives in their stead, but the House rejected them, insisting that the heads of the respective security agencies must appear in person. At number 3, the Lagos State government has reinforced its ban on street begging, specifically emphasizing the prohibition of using babies and children for armed solicitation. The announcement came from the Commissioner for Youth and Social Development, Mobolaji Ogunlende, during an interactive session with stakeholders in Alosa. Despite previous efforts to curb street begging, Ogunlende highlighted a resurgence of the practice in certain areas of Lagos. The commissioner emphasized a zero-tolerance policy for street begging throughout the state, citing its negative impact on the city's image and its potential security threats to investors. At number 4, the Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, has disclosed that Nigerian Customs Service incurred a loss of 1.3 trillion naira due to waivers and concessions granted to investors by the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari this year. Adeniyi made this revelation during a public hearing organized by the Senate Joint Committee on the 2024-2026 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy at the National Assembly Complex in Abuja. In addition to the financial loss, Adeniyi stated that the NCS was not privy to the details of the controversial custom $3.2 billion modernization project, also known as e-Customs, which was approved by the Buhari administration in April. Despite a court order restraining the federal government from proceeding with the initiative, the Federal Executive Council endorsed the e-Custom project, entrusting its implementation to a concessionaire. At number 5, the Gombe State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, has reported that 3 individuals lost their lives and 22 others sustained injuries during the 2023 flood disaster in the state. According to Abdullahi, the executive secretary of SEMA, the disaster also claimed the lives of 7 animals, destroyed 1,838 houses, and affected 257 farmlands between May and October 2023. Abdullahi further explained in an interview with the News Agency of Nigeria in Gombe on Thursday that 8 out of the 11 local government areas in the state experienced the disaster, contrary to the 3 local government areas predicted in the 2023 flood outlook. The worst hit areas were identified as Akko, Funakaye, Balanga, Gombe, Nafada, Katungo, Shungom, and Yelmatu Delba. At number 6, gunmen have reportedly kidnapped Isaac Bature Baja, an assistant manager with the Central Bank of Nigeria in Nasarawa, demanding a 10 million ransom. The incident occurred on Monday, November 13, 2023, with Baja being adopted alongside 2 other unidentified persons around 8 p.m. The abduction took place near MacPherson Royal Suites along Kwandere Road, Tudun Kwandera, Lafia, Nasarawa State, as Baja was picked up at his wife's joint. This incident follows closely on the heels of the release of Agidi Bolus Ajay, a councillor in Lafia Local Government Council, who was kidnapped by unknown gunmen just 24 hours prior. As of now, there is no official confirmation from the Nasarawa State Police Command regarding the reported kidnapping of the CBN staff. At number 7, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 elections, Peter Obi, is calling on the federal government to disclose the assets and deficit inherited by the President Bola Tinubu government from the past administration of ex-President Muhammadu Buhari. In a series of posts on Twitter, now X, Obi emphasized the importance of transparency and strict accountability in governance, stating that Nigerians have the right to know. This request comes in response to the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu reportedly lamenting on Monday that the Tinubu administration inherited a bankrupt country from the Buhari government. Obi, a former governor of Anambra State, urged officials of the Tinubu government to disclose the details of what they inherited, as similar claims were made by the previous APC government in 2015 against the administration that preceded it. At number 8, the Palestinian ambassador in Nigeria, Abu Shawesh, has called on the UN Security Council, International Criminal Courts, International Court of Justice, and all UN member states to adopt the 4th Geneva Convention obligation on Israel. The convention stipulates that each high contracting party shall be under the obligation to search for persons alleged to have committed or to have ordered to be committed such grave breaches, and shall bring such persons, regardless of their nationality, before its own courts. The envoy made the call on Wednesday in Abuja while addressing journalists on the 40th day of what he called frenzied textbook genocide. At number 9, US President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping have agreed to restore military communications between the two nations. The 4-hour talks held at a historic California estate aim to ease growing tensions between the world's largest economies and prevent them from escalating into conflicts. During the summit, both leaders agreed that China would take action to curb the production of ingredients of fentanyl, a synthetic opioid responsible for a deadly epidemic of abuse in the United States. Xi expressed sympathy for the victims of the drug, which has had severe consequences in communities across the country. However, differences persisted on the issue of Taiwan, a major point of contention. President Xi urged President Biden to cease arming the island, asserting that reunification was unstoppable. At number 10, former heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder will fight separate opponents on the same night as part of a stacked card on 23rd December in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Britain Joshua will face Otto Wallin, with American Wilder taking on former champion Joseph Parker. If Joshua and Wilder both win, they could fight each other in 2024. That's all for today. See you next time on What's Happening.